I give away free Steam games with every major video I do, and here's who won this week. The games available to receive are listed below. To enter, just leave a comment and have contact information on your profile. And now, on with the video. I'm playing something almost every week, and sometimes I want to talk about it and give you a vertical slice. So stick with me for some lightning reviews. This week, on the chopping block. This week I've been playing Lethal Company. Now, under most circumstances, I'm not one to jump onto the new hot multiplayer game, which is a shame because I'd probably be able to ride the YouTube algorithm a little bit easier. However, while I'm not above taking on a more current game, I'm usually contented to be doing my own thing. It just so happens that Lethal Company has managed to find its way into several of my friends' libraries, and the curiosity got the better of me. I was already aware of Lethal Company to a minor degree, having seen several memes and amusing clips popping out here and there. So, with the knowledge of the odd viral clip as the only context I had for the game, I got together with a few friends and dove into a lobby. The first thing I have to say is that this game is not friendly to those without any experience. The game has a minimalist approach to explanations with little more than an in-game clipboard representing the game's instruction manual and almost nothing as far as tutorials. Seeing this, I quickly elected to forgo my usual process of remapping the controls to my Razer Tartarus peripheral and plugged in a standard Xbox gamepad, which fortunately was almost completely supported for the basic functions. If I may give a recommendation for anyone looking to try Lethal Company, make an endeavor to have a full group with at least one person who has played a round or two prior and understands the minimum necessary requirements to get started. I say this because when the game begins, you and your crew are almost immediately dropped into the hull of a small spacefaring vessel with the task of acquiring items of value in order to meet a quota of salvage in a certain time span. The first step of being able to select a world to visit, and this is where things can start getting a little obtuse, is that you have to use an in-game console to type out commands so that you can navigate your ship. And I mean actually typing out the commands like you would an old MS-DOS prompt. Once you make your first visit planetside, you're introduced to the gameplay loop where things get interesting. The harvesting and survival. Each planet you go to usually has a primary feature of some abandoned or decrepit industrial facility with various pieces of valuable scrap to bring back to the ship, along with interstellar monstrosities that have a passing interest in making your body look like the contents of a pulled pork sandwich.
We gotta get past this Steve. Straight.
You kidding me? I ran directly into him.
Yeah. Hello.
He's the only one alive. He's the only one alive, so he's at the door. So.
To aid in your survival, you're given nothing. This makes your entry into the various buildings very tense, and would heavily incentivize that me and my crew move as one unit, keeping our eyes open in all directions for the sake of our preservation. In the lore of the game that it is loosely presented, on a fresh campaign you're quickly made to realize the level of importance that the company you're working for holds you at, which is barely enough to loan you a ship that can jettison you out into the cold vacuum of space if you have the audacity to not make profit for them.
Below standard. Welcome to our disciplinary process.
Yay! As such, everyone's early campaigns are likely just running into the building to make a little just over enough to not die, with the rest of the money being used to acquire tools that will better improve the odds of survival from run to run. As you progress some and successfully start gathering enough scrap to exceed quota, you can start purchasing things like flashlights and maybe even defensive implements in order to increase your odds that you'll be able to get out if you encounter something that wants you dead. Now, in these base mechanics and story, it may not necessarily sound like anything special, but the co-op element to it is where this game arguably shines, and why it has spectacularly taken off the way it has. You see, Lethal Company features an in-game proximity-based voice chat that is not only used to coordinate with your other crewmates, but accentuates the hostile atmosphere and really helps to instill a sense of dread when someone on your team stops talking. This is because when one of your crew gets off in some gruesome or otherwise unpleasant fashion, they become muted in-game. This becomes even more entertaining from a horror angle when they're a room or two away, start screaming, and then everything goes deathly silent. Do you go in to investigate and try and salvage something they might have dropped as well as reclaim their body to avoid a penalty? Or do you cut your losses and try to get back to the ship with the hope that you'll be able to do better on the next round? On that note, can you even reclaim their body, or did they accidentally jump to their untimely death in a vain effort to avoid getting torn apart, like I did this one round?
Did we enter the back rooms?
I don't like this rule.
Ah!
Oh, God! It's that thing!
What? Ah! Hit it!
How do I leave?
Run away!
Oh God, why did it kill all of us?
Orko? Guys? Anybody? Oh,
Oh,
shite.
Jesus Christ, Dodd.
I think it's just me. I need to leave. Oh, God.
However, even if your team has successfully gathered items and managed to get back to your boss to redeem the value of your salvage, the sense of apathy toward your mortality and overt greed and the awareness of an ever-present quota ensures that the oppression doesn't let up. This may be why you and your crew may also be prone to find things to laugh about while you're exploring.
I'm sure everyone else is curious, too.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Yep, he got eaten. Oh god.
If you and your team are consistently able to meet quota, you start gaining access to more worlds with more expensive loot and a wider variety of interstellar hostiles. Unlocking certain pieces of equipment also enables a wider variety of tactics and playstyles, such as using walkie-talkies to have one person stay on the ship and point out the locations of loot and monsters while the other three do the harvesting. For me, the steep learning curve, a sense of collective struggle, an overwhelming need to maintain camaraderie, and an insidious and uncaring atmosphere laced in undertones of late-stage capitalism, combined with the overtly hostile murder monsters, has produced a game that I can understand why it's generated such a strong appeal. Now, that's not saying it's a perfect package, and I'm not just talking about the learning curve. While the game overall is functional, there's a lot of small issues that pop up. Most of these issues manifest as minor graphical oversights, such as assets that clip through the ship, or fellow explorers just plain disappearing while you're bumming around the vessel getting ready for the next mission. However, my game royally screwed up after my controller became unplugged once or twice, necessitating a full restart. Plus, the fact that some things can just phase through solid material, like the bees, shows that this game has a large degree of improvements that can still be made. I would put more emphasis on these, but from what I understand, this game is made entirely by a solitary developer that may or may not be a furry. If this game is solo developed, then that makes it just more impressive as far as I'm concerned. Additionally, Lethal Company has already developed a tremendous modding community, adding further depth and content to the title that gives entertainment value far surpassing many AAA projects these days. Hell, me and my friends are expecting another playthrough this afternoon using a mod that enables the possibility of a crew with up to 32 players, although I'm pretty sure we're only going to go in with about 6. Lethal Company is one of those rare games that, in spite of its flaws, has managed to stumble across a formula that makes it vastly entertaining. As I said prior, though, in order to get past the initial hurdles of the game, try and go in with a full crew and have at least one person who knows what they're doing in advance. Now, if you'll excuse me, I believe I'm being called away for my next scrapping mission.
Hey, look at that, it's the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe and remember that commenting can actually win you a free prize. So until next time, this is Gheeotine saying thanks for watching and keep your head on your shoulders.